I guess this is kind of a big deal tonight, so we'll get started. Not sure where to start. It's been a crazy couple of days. And just to give you some background, Houston and I have been in continuous communication with each other, with public health experts, with KDE, with state officials, and our administrators. We've given it our best shot at coming up with a plan that addresses stakeholder concerns, that is the best we can provide for students and families, understanding that when there is disruption, any disruption like this, that it's difficult for all involved. While all of this has been going on the last 48 hours, we've tried to keep the big picture in mind. And in 20 years on the board, a public health emergency is something that I have no experience with, so we're navigating uncharted waters, to say the least, and things are happening quickly. They're still happening and will happen throughout the evening and the night from what we hear. So, having said that, is there anything you'd like to say to this introduction?
No, just want to say we've had a great partnership with our City of Frankfort, the Public Health Department, KSBA. Our Kevin Brown's been excellent. The governor, I've had direct conversations with the governor. It's been great to have that kind of information. And then my own internal staff, I've worked closely with Miss Sams and Mr. Reed and Christy Pritchett and several others on everything that's happening quickly. And so, but I do want to say, we have to look at the entire picture, come up with the best decisions for, all of our stakeholders, but especially our children and families. And it's a difficult time. I mean, this is a very difficult situation, and we don't take it lightly. We understand that there are challenges that exist with COVID-19. But we are in a stage where we have to mitigate any further spread of what's going on.
And I think it's the consensus of our board to be as proactive as we can, rather than wait a little while and be reactive. And so there's, like I said, a lot of discussion. Amelia's been involved in that. We've tried to anticipate any questions or concerns that board members would have. We've given it a shot at trying to cover all the bases, and but if not, board members are more than welcome to ask any questions or give any thoughts tonight. So, having said that, the first action item on the agenda is approval of a temporary emergency application and waiver for NTI. That's something that this district has never participated in because we just don't have the snow days to justify it. So we have to have this approval and from KDE after board approval on the application. It's our understanding that it will be approved fairly quickly, so we can go ahead and make use of NTI days. But that was kind of the hold up, and this application process that's just a necessary step to get us to that point. Thankfully, both Ms. Sams and Mr. Reed have been in NTI districts before, so they're helping navigate that, and everybody's worked really hard the last couple of days to help us make NTI days a part of our schedule. So, board members, you have a copy of the application in front of you.
And the plan is to submit this evening. They said they'll review it, and within a very short time period, like an hour, 30 minutes, they'll approve or disapprove. But more than likely, what the application simply states is just how we intend, in a broad way of providing instruction to our students. At the high school, we know that Summit is a very strong platform and allows us to convert very easily. At K through 8 level, we have more of a mixed balance, and there's going to be some online, but there's also going to be instructional packets. And so how that's delivered, we've been working out the details. There will be details directly forthcoming to our parents and our families once we move forward with this option. So.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the emergency application for NTI?
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the motion carries. The next agenda item is discussion and approval of changing the district calendar.
So I would like to explain that we received a call from the governor, was it yesterday? Yeah, it's that fast. And basically outlining the challenges and issues with COVID-19. We received both public health information and information surrounding how school districts should consider operating. And basically it was a heads up that he is going to contact us potentially and that we would have 48 hours to shut down. Now, here's the deal on that. As school districts and as a superintendent, I have to be proactive and think about how does that look for our school system, and in doing so, what is the best options that we have as a school district, given our we are very fortunate as a school district that we offer a 3-week intercession, even though 2 of those days we had to make up or have to make up. But that's a very fortunate thing because most school districts will have to use a lot of NTI days and their spring break, or like 15 to 20 NTI days, which is pretty remarkable considering the conditions we're in. Now, having said that, I have been alerted, and I can't say this officially, but there is going to be a call from the governor. So very soon, within the next 24 hours, let's just say. And so we are prepared to provide a recommendation. I am recommending, based on all the data that I've received, every single piece of data I have reviewed carefully. We have, as a board team, been in communication, constant communication. So I'm recommending the following recommendations. And again, we will not make everybody happy. We will not, there will be challenges. We have to think about our families and consider what's happening along the way. So the recommendation that I'm going to make to the board is that we will be doing NTI days pending KD approval starting Monday, March 16th through the 24th, which is the 7 days that we were supposed to be in school session. We will then go on intercession, which was our originally scheduled intercession on the 25th, and we will not come back until April 13th. That means that we will be out for a full month for students. It does not mean we don't provide instruction during those 7 days. I am also recommending that all activities and athletics will be suspended during the 4 weeks. This is a very tough decision. This is not an easy decision. That includes practice. I know people are not going to be happy, but I have to make this decision in regards to what's going on with our families. All PEP and Excel programming will be canceled. It's already canceled. I've made that decision with the board support. No out-of-state field trips, period. No international field trips. No out-of-state travel for staff for professional growth and development. Not, if they choose to go on their own, that's their business. Breakfast and lunch will be served via mobile sites in specific locations each day. We feel like we need to serve our families. It is our duty, regardless of what happens, to serve. And we're working closely with our health department. Brittany, is there anything you want to say about what we're choosing to do, and just making sure we have your support?
Yeah, I think that it's great that our community is getting ahead of the curve and try to mitigate it before the curve continues to go up. That way we can kind of see it level out faster and go back down. So I do think that it's a great idea, and definitely support what you all are doing.
Mayor, did you want to say anything?
Well, thank you all for letting us come today and be here with you, but thank you all for taking a step forward and going ahead and thinking about what this can mean to not just staff, but the students especially. And we're with Tom Russell, our emergency management director, reports directly to me, so he's got full authority to do whatever you need. If you can't get in touch with me, feel free to call Tom. And we've got 21 years of experience. He's got lots of years of experience that we've been through situations, unfortunately not like this, because this is something that we don't know what's going to happen. We had a White House conference call on Wednesday. I included Tom on it. So we think because of what we know and all of the things that could happen, not say will happen, but could happen, is that we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do an emergency declaration sometime tonight or tomorrow, probably issue it tomorrow. I think what we'll do, and I believe the county judge is going to also, I don't want to speak for the county, but we'll all be working hand in hand, and whatever we can do to help you all is what we're going to try to do. There's some other things too that we can do to help local businesses that might be impacted. That was one of the things that the White House folks mentioned for the Small Business Administration, that if someone's business has been impacted in a state, it's 5, the things what triggers it for a state, 1 for a local entity like us. So I've had obviously people from business call. I will tell you all your secrets out, because I already had phone calls asking me about the schools, which I wouldn't confirm, but I said, well, they're going to make an announcement later. But they said, well, the teachers already know, and other people are calling. So I said, okay, well, that's fine. So I think it's always good to put information out, and I'm happy that our governor's doing that on the front end. So that helps. So we'll just keep the lines of communication open and whatever we can do to help. I'm glad that you're going to be able to do the food programs, because that is something that near and dear to my heart, making sure that children are taken care of, and then we've got to figure out how we can help, if any, what employers can do to help with students that are going to be home. And in some localities, some places, you're going to see telecommuting, people that can work from home to do that, and hopefully employers will understand there's going to be students that are going to need parents to be home with them. So I don't know how we deal with that yet, but it's something that we just need to ask the public to bear with us and think about the health and safety, and first and foremost making sure that our children have somebody at home to keep them safe. So
thank you.
And that's something that has weighed really heavy on my heart, because this district is about so much more than just academic services. So, we're talking about that, trying to figure out what that can look like and how the food service program can work, as well as counseling. And Houston has, looked at other ideas, talked with you and a lot of people about how to address that specific issue of children home alone. And so,
and let me say,
thank you for your support.
absolutely,
thank you.
You all have been great, and we appreciate all the things that you've done over the years for your students. They're our kids. So,
and let me tell you where this is going to come into play, that you all helped us significantly, was the city of Frankfort's agreement to give us internet in our homes. Right now, that is going to play huge. So we appreciate that, and that should be announced throughout the country. Just
That's significant.
support. So, Mr. Kennedy, is there anything you'd like to say? I just want to make sure, because I know it's an unprecedented times.
So I work for the Kentucky School Boards Association, work a lot with the legislature. So just earlier today, the legislature is trying to act to give as much different kinds of flexibility as possible to school districts. I think what you said was correct, that you're probably well suited here. And I also have a daughter in the district here. We're pretty well suited because of the annual school calendar that we already have. A lot of districts are much worse off with doing sort of 30 days all at one block of NTI, which is really tricky for a lot of reasons anywhere. So a piece of legislation was filed this afternoon in the House. It probably will pass out of the House tomorrow. That gives sort of several different kinds of waivers and flexibility in it. Still has to go all the way through the Senate. They're still trying to figure out if they will change the schedule of the legislature. They might impact that. But hopefully, tomorrow, and then by the end of next week, definitely, we hope to see what the final law will be for kind of the parameters for what districts can do. But we all expect that the federal government will give a waiver for you to be reimbursed the cost of providing any food service during any days that you are closed. Everyone expects that to happen. We expect that there will be something, we've been calling it a drop dead day, which we probably shouldn't use in terms of this illness, but there will probably be an absolute end of the school year date for all districts in Kentucky. That we will, the goal will be to make up all instructional time as much as possible, going to school longer days, maybe going to school on Saturdays, out across all districts, that local boards will be in charge of setting up and determining how that will look. But probably June 12th, for any district that has not been able to make up the total number of instructional hours for the year. Any districts will probably be able to have anything they haven't done waived beyond that point in time. I'm looking at the rest of it. There's a big concern. All of the education kind of stakeholder groups, we're all concerned about employees, especially hourly paid people and classified staff that do not get paid when they don't work and largely don't work when school is not in session. And so part of the language is going to allow, in a way that districts legally can, either have those folks come in and do work even when students are not in session, or grant additional amounts of emergency leave to some of those people, and with a lot of flexibility on how boards can determine who should go on leave and how and when you'll get paid, so that some folks won't go bankrupt in their personal life because of this emergency. And so there'll be some language in there to allow more amounts of emergency leave to be given to more types of employees, including part-time people, in what we expect. Bus drivers.
Bus drivers.
Currently, you can't give this kind of a leave. You can't give more than 3 days of this leave, I don't believe, and only full-time people can get it. It's going to expand some of that only because of the emergency. So that has not passed yet. We expect something very close to that to be part of what eventually does come through. It's empowering boards with more flexibility for any of these contingencies. Some of the language that we expect to get through that was filed today deals with the evaluations for certified staff. As districts go much later than normal in the year, there are certain deadlines for these evaluations to happen. There's going to be some waivers to allow delays on that to happen. There's probably going to be some an allowance for high school principals to grant, let me get it right, educational enhancement opportunity days to high school students if in any way not going to school or having delays in the schedule impacts that. We're trying to think of everything that might come into play when a district is severely delayed late in the year or has days forgiven. And so we've gotten a lot of support from all the legislators up at the Capitol, both parties, to give kind of maximum flexibility for this.
What about accountability? That's probably a large question.
Yeah, there's some language. It's different in some other states. We've been looking a lot at the accountability system, the assessments and the testing window. Of course, you know, the testing occurs essentially the last kind of couple of weeks there of school. So, of course, even with all of this, the goal is still that we eventually make up all of this time as much as possible. So if the school year is just delayed even into June for some folks, it's just the testing we think would still happen and just be delayed. However, there is some language here, again, that we expect to pass, but has not passed yet, that would allow the State Department of Education to ask for any waivers possible from the feds in terms of the accountability, the assessments, and so forth. Because every state in the country is going to be going through much the same thing. There's not a lot that we can not do in assessment and accountability unless the federal government gives us a waiver to not do it. We can't just not do testing and skip a year in accountability unless they give us permission. So we're going to probably be asking, along with other states, for various kinds of waivers from that too. But that will probably come later.
Thank you, Eric.
That's excellent.
And we will be monitoring that legislation, and we'll meet if necessary, if there are accommodations that we can and decide to take advantage of. And we'll also be meeting to make a final determination if April the 3rd, if the time needs to be extended.
Correct.
So, but at this point, the return date is, preliminarily April 13th. And just one more thing I want to say, during this process, we will use email, media, social media, whatever communication method that we can, but I just want to say this and guard against one thing. With social media, I would encourage everyone to only listen or look for 3 sources, that being Houston, Sam, or Tyler. And so if you see something that a Facebook friend has posted, check the source, because there can be a lot of misinformation out there. So those are your 3 go-to sources during this process. And like I said, it's fluid. It's just constantly changing, and this is huge, just huge. And so, Mr. Russell, did you have anything you'd like to add, or?
No, ma'am, I'm just here to try to get a little bit of idea of what the plan is, and with the mayor and the judge's support, I can make a whole lot happen for y'all. So,
Okay,
you got my full support.
we appreciate your involvement. I think we are the 2nd district in the state to do this. I think Boone County did it last night, so we're only the 2nd. So it's new territory, and we're just feeling our way through it and trying to do the best we can. This board has, the best interest of our district families in mind, but this is a little bigger. It's about community, and so we'll do the best we can. Just be patient with us. We're learning as we go. So if there's no other comments from our experts over here on this side. Houston, do you have anything more to add?
No, and I appreciate all the teachers' comments and concerns. I've reviewed every comment that you made on the data from that Sam sent this afternoon. I also looked at previous emails and comments, which played into the final decision of how we were going to handle it. There's no perfect solution, like I said, so just realize that we're in this together. The only other thing I was going to say is we need a lot of help getting NTI stuff together, so I ask that you please know that there's probably going to be some additional time to get that together, and whatever support you can provide, that would be great, because our kids need it. And I also ask, I'm working with Miss Sams on this and Tyler, but counseling services, we're trying not to disrupt with our children, so we're figuring out ways how to get KCC access to those kids. Furthermore, I'm just inquiring about this, but how we can get our kids still actively involved with activities, even though we don't have our own that we're going to offer. So it's just a challenge. I get it. Just the best we can do. So think of be creative ways, and we'll work with the City of Frankfort on that as well, because they have Parks and Rec that can think through small group situations. But it's a tough time. So with that, I've made the recommendation and comments from the board members and thoughts.
I just hope and expect that this community, as it tends to do, will come together. We've all heard the maxim, it takes a village to raise a child, but so much of that weight is borne by the people sitting in this room. And I'm not even talking about those of us around the table, the staff in the schools. And this is the time for neighbors and churches and certainly policymakers at all levels to keep the interests of particularly our most vulnerable families close in their minds at all times and act accordingly.
Okay, if there's nothing else, is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation about this changing the school calendar?
So moved. Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. And we will be in touch. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm sure that it will be more. And I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate Sam and Tyler. Yeah. Originally, we were thinking about doing NTI the week of the 6th because we thought we needed some lead time. And then Sam and Tyler said they were good to go, and they thought the staff could make it happen, so we'd do it next week. So that's amazing. I know it's going to take some overtime the next night and day. And so we appreciate everybody jumping in on that. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr.